Hey there, fearless fashionpreneurs. We are live again. How's everyone doing tonight? Awesome. So for tonight's Facebook Live, I wanted to talk about Shark Tank. So I personally love Shark Tank. I don't have any time to watch TV, but when I do have a split second here or there, I will watch reruns of Shark Tank. I think it is a great show, and there can be a lot that you can learn from other people's businesses, even if it's outside of the fashion arena. There's really a lot of things you can learn from watching this show. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about the 10 things we can learn from watching Shark Tank. So if you're watching this video, please share this video, and if you do share it, just type in the comments below shared. That way I can make sure to send you a little gift. I will actually send you my notes that we're going to be talking about today so that you have all of these 10 things and you can learn from Shark Tank as well. So let's get right into it. So number one is that you need to know your business and you need to know your numbers like the back of your hand. So one of the things I noticed when watching Shark Tank is that they ask you a ton of questions. They just fire them right at you, and they expect you to know these things right off the top of your head like the back of your hand. And you should. You're a business owner, and it's important that as a business owner, if you want to take your business to the next level and really be profitable and really be successful, that you start acting like a business owner and you start taking your business seriously. And I can tell you, until you take your business seriously, you won't make any serious money in your business. So business owners know how much they're making every day, every month, every year, year over year, what their sales are, where their sales are coming from. All of this information is really important. So you need to know your numbers. And I've noticed that on Shark Tank, they consistently ask the same 7 questions to almost every single contestant on that show. And I want to go over these questions because I really think that as business owners, especially as fashionpreneurs, you need to be able to answer these 7 questions as well. So number one is, how many have you sold and in what period of time? So as a business owner, you need to know how many pieces have you sold, how often are you selling them, when are people visiting your website, what time of day are they visiting your website, what day of the week are they visiting your website. Maybe you notice that people will come to your website more and buy on Tuesdays and Saturdays, or at 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Whatever it is, you need to know how many pieces you've sold and what period of time you've been selling those pieces. So this is really, really important. Then number 2, what's the cost to make and what are you selling it for? So I can tell you right now, if you're not making double your cost, if you're not profiting, your margins are not double the cost, whatever it costs you to make your product, if you're not charging wholesale price at least double, you're not going to make enough money. You're just not. It's just, for a small startup business, especially a fashion business, you need to be making at least double. You just do. And if you're planning to sell retail yourself, meaning on your own e-commerce shop, or even in your own brick and mortar store, you need to charge at least 4.5 to 5 times your cost in order to be making a profit. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I possibly charge that price? Well, the problem is that even though, yes, you're cutting out the middleman, you're cutting out the retailer by you now being the retailer yourself, you still can't charge your wholesale price on your website. You just can't. You're not going to make enough money. You are now taking on the role of the retailer. Yes, you've cut out the traditional retailer, but you're now the retailer. And you now have to spend money on marketing, on advertising, on your website hosting and updating the website with inventory and shipping and all of these things. This all costs money, and in order to make enough money, you need to charge at least 4.5, 5 times even as much as your cost. So that is really, really important. So I've noticed several times on Shark Tank that they even want you to be making 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 times what it actually costs you, because they know the more money you're making every time you sell something, the more likely you are to be profitable, and they want to invest in profitable businesses. So that's really important. The third question they always ask is, what's your bestseller? So as a fashion designer, this is really important. So I've noticed on Shark Tank that they consistently ask this question, and I can tell you, even from being a fashion designer myself, working for different companies, that I always wanted to know what the bestsellers were. I was always going to sales and saying, what did Macy's sell last week? What was the bestsellers last week? What was the bestsellers last month? And then taking those styles and repurposing them in a way, right? Because there's a reason why that style is selling, whether it's the fabric, the fit, the style, the cut. There is something about that style that's making it a bestseller. So if we can redo that style in a way, or repurpose that style in a way, you're more likely to have a chance that that also will be a bestseller, right? So taking the same style and doing a different fabric, or doing a different print, or taking the same skirt and doing a different top, or taking the same top and doing a different skirt, or adding a sleeve, or making the sleeve short sleeve or long sleeve or 3/4 sleeve, right? There's so many different ways you could repurpose that one style, that one bestseller, and then hopefully have multiple bestsellers. So that's really important, especially as a fashion designer, that you know what your bestsellers are. You know what's making you money and what's not making you money. If there's styles that aren't selling or aren't getting any attraction, no one's paying attention to them, just drop it. I don't care if you absolutely love it, if it's your favorite style on the line. If no one is buying it and no one is responding it to, it's not worth your time and energy. You need to focus your time and energy on your bestsellers. Okay, so the fourth question I noticed that they always ask is, what's the cost to acquire a new customer, and how often do you have repeat customers? So this is also really important as a fashion business, because you need to know what's the cost for you to acquire a customer. How many people are visiting your website, and how long are they on your website, and where are they coming from, and how much money are you paying to drive new traffic to your website? How much does your email marketing cost, and your website hosting, and your web designer, and your Facebook ads, and all your marketing materials? Are you doing trade shows? So how are you acquiring these new customers, and what's the best method for acquiring these customers? What's your highest return on investment, right? If you're doing Facebook ads, what's the cost to acquire a new customer to come over to your website and actually purchase something? So that's really important, and you want to know those numbers, because the higher the cost to acquire a customer, the less likely you're going to be profitable. You want those numbers to be really low so that you can get more customers without it costing you a fortune to get them. The fifth question I've noticed that they always ask on Shark Tank is, what will the money be used for? So everyone that's going on Shark Tank, they're obviously looking for money, they're looking for investors, they're giving up equity in order to get the money, but people want to know what that money is going towards. And whether you are looking for investors or you're trying to do a crowdfunding campaign, people want to know exactly what you're going to use that money for. I saw an episode one time where the Caddy girls, I think it was, were on there, and they had a very successful business. It was going well, and I think she was asking for like $250,000 or $500,000, and they said, okay, what are you going to do with the money? And she couldn't answer the question, and no one ended up investing in her business, and I don't blame them, because I'm not going to give my money to somebody if they can't tell me what they're going to use it for. And especially, this is very important with crowdfunding, because people want to know what that money is going to be used for. Is it going to be used to produce the line, to manufacture the line, or are you going to take $500,000 and go party on a yacht with your friends and have a huge party? So people want to know what that money is going to be used for. They want to feel safe about investing their money and giving their money to you. So that's a really important one right there. So be sure you know what the money is going to be used for if you are trying to raise money. Number 6, they always ask, how many doors are you in, and what's your plan for distribution? So doors is just a slang term in the industry. It kind of just means how many stores are you in, like what stores are carrying your line, right? So that's basically what that means. And then they want to know, the second part to that question is, what's your plan for distribution, right? So how are you going to grow the company? If you're already selling to specialty stores, do you plan to then sell to department stores? Or if you're only selling online, do you eventually plan to sell retail stores or have your own brick and mortar store? So they want to know what's going on currently, what stores are you currently in, and where are you going? What's the plan for the distribution? So you should know that as well. Number 7, they always ask, what's your background? So the reason that they usually ask that question is because 9 out of 10 times, you're more likely to succeed if you actually have a background in the industry that your business is in, or if you have a background in business in general. So that's really, really important. So for instance, if you're starting a fashion line, if you have experience in fashion industry, if you've worked in the industry or gone to school or something like that, that's really helpful. If you are, let's say, a doctor and that's your background, and then you're trying to start a fashion line and you're trying to approach investors, they may look at you like, we don't know if you're actually going to make it, because they know that without having that industry experience, you may not know what you're getting yourself into. And this is part of the reason why I started my fashion coaching business, Fashion Angel Warrior, because I realized that a lot of people don't want to go to fashion school. They don't want to waste 4 years. They don't want to waste $50,000 on their education and come out and not even still know exactly how to start their own fashion line. So Fashion Angel Warrior exists to really help you save time and save money and cut that stuff out so you can become profitable as fast as possible and really lean on my experience and my knowledge of the industry as your industry experience. And so that's what we can offer, and that's why we're so successful. So but that is something to think about. What's your background? And they will always ask that question. And so those are the 7 questions that I've noticed that they always ask on Shark Tank. So the next time you watch Shark Tank, pay attention and see how many contestants they ask all those 7 questions to. You'll be shocked to see that they do always ask those questions. And even if you don't see them ask the questions on the show, I'm sure that they ask it behind the scenes with all the takes that we don't see on the actual show. Because those 7 questions are really important. So it's really important that you're able to answer those 7 questions for your business. So the second part that's really important that we can learn from watching Shark Tank is that you need to have confidence. So no matter what you're doing, as a business owner, it's really important that you exude that confidence. That you're confident in your business, you're confident in your product, you're confident with your own capabilities. That's really, really important. Now, I'm not talking about being arrogant or prideful. You definitely don't want to go that far with the confidence. But you want to be able to stand tall. You want to be able to not cross your arms and not fidget and do weird things with your hands when you're talking to people, especially investors or buyers when you're pitching a line to them, right? You want to be able to stand tall, stand up. You want to be able to speak without having to stutter your words or fumble over your words. So you want your speech to be really good. And you want to just be naturally relaxed and calm. You don't want to be over hyper or ADD or all over the place, right? So you need to have that confidence. That's really important. And I've noticed that on Shark Tank, they are more likely to invest in the people that are more confident. Okay, so number 3 that we can learn, third tip we can learn from watching Shark Tank is that everyone loves a story. So they've actually done studies on this, and 30% of the people that got investing from Shark Tank, from sharks, actually were able to tell a story. So if you're able to include some kind of narrative or some kind of personal experience in your life, that's always going to help your chances of winning someone over, whether it's an investor, whether it's a buyer, whether you're selling to a personal customer one-on-one. So people want to know a story. They want to feel like they can relate to you. Once they feel like they can relate to you, they feel like they know you. Once they know you, they start to like you. Once they like you, they start to trust you. And then you have them, and then you have the sale. So that's that whole KLT factor, the know, like, and trust. That's going to get you sales. That's going to get people knocking on your door wanting to buy from you. So if you can incorporate any kind of a story, something that's emotional, something that's touching, that will definitely help your chances. I saw one episode of Shark Tank where the Red Dress Boutique, of course, they were already doing very successful. They had everything going for them. So they had everything else already lined up and good to go. They knew their numbers. They were prepared. They knew exactly what they were doing. But they also shared a story, and the girl shared specifically how her father had passed away, and because of his death, she was really using that to fuel her passion, to fuel her drive, and to really say that I'm not going to quit on this thing because I'm doing this business now for my dad and my dad's honor. And I can guarantee that the sharks definitely were more likely to invest in her company, and they ended up investing in her company because of that story. So I'm sure that put them a little bit over the edge as far as, okay, we need to invest in this girl because she's serious, she has passion, and she's showing us that. And probably maybe one of the sharks could even relate to her in a sense. So it's really important. So if you can tell a story, figure out a way to tell a story about your business, something that's personal, something that can really grab people's attention and get them, again, to know, like, and trust you. Okay, great. A lot of people like that one. Awesome. So thanks so much, guys, for joining in. If you're just joining in now, please share this video with your friends. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get this out to as many people as possible. And if you do share the video, I will give you a little prize. So I'll actually send you the notes that I'm using to go over everything that we go over today so that you have everything. You can go back to it. You can refer to these 10 things, and you can refer back to the 7 questions that you need to be able to answer at all times. So when you do share it, just write shared in the comment section below so I actually know that you shared the video, and then I can send you my notes. Okay? Great. So number 4 is do your homework. So if you watch Shark Tank, you notice that these people, the ones at least that actually do well and actually get an investor at the end of it, or get a shark to take to invest in their company, have done their homework. They know all about the sharks. They know everything about their personal life. They know everything about their businesses. They know about what businesses they've invested in. You'll see they notice that they often say things like, oh, you know, I like you, Damon, did X, Y, and Z, or I did this and this, similar to you, Lori. So they're always kind of like add in like that little extra bit, like I'm like you, and it's that reinforcing factor again that they can relate to you, right? So it's the same thing when you're pitching a buyer. You want to stalk them, literally stalk them. You want to know everything about them. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go visit their store, know what lines they carry. You need to be able to know everything about this person so that you can try to relate to this person and try to tailor your pitch specifically to them so that, again, they can start to know you, they can feel like they like you, and then they start to trust you, and then you have them, and then you have the sale, right? So this is another thing that we can learn from watching Shark Tank. Okay, number 5, the 5th thing we can learn is how low are you willing to go? So if you watch Shark Tank, there's always negotiations going on. And of course, the sharks are going to try to get the best deal that they can get. So they're going to try to give as little money as possible for the most amount of equity. And the people on the other end, the contestants, need to know, well, how low am I willing to go? How low am I really willing to accept an offer? And a lot of times, if you notice, if they hesitate, if they don't know how low they're willing to go, and they say that they need to think about it, or they need to go outside the Shark Tank and talk to one another about it, that by the time they make up their decision and come back, the sharks have already either taken the offer off the table, or they've changed their mind, or they've lowered the offer. So you need to know how low you're willing to go. And this applies definitely when you're approaching and pitching buyers. So buyers are notorious for wanting to do whatever it is they want to do, and they think they own the world and that you will just comply with whatever they want. So let's say you have on your line sheet, your minimum order is 10 pieces per style per color. You will have a buyer come along and write an order for 8 pieces per style per color. And then you need to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to accept the 8 pieces? Are you going to put your foot down and say, no, I'm sorry, my minimum order is 10 pieces per style per color, so you really need to increase your buy? And that's really important to know what you're willing to accept and how much is it worth for you to get into the store, because by you accepting 8 pieces, it might put you in a bad position. It might raise your price of manufacturing because now you don't have enough pieces to manufacture, and so now the cost is going up, and now your profits are going down just so that you can sell to this one store. So is it worth it? And that's something that you kind of need to decide. You'll also see buyers where you have a delivery date, January 30th, and they're like, okay, but we need this January 15th. Well, you need to decide, are you going to accept that? Are you going to be able to ship on time 2 weeks ahead of your normal delivery date? And that's something you want to be really, really careful with, because if you don't ship on time, you are never getting an order again from that buyer. So as much as you want to please them and as much as you want to be in their store, it's really important that you don't screw yourself over and you really take a look at your business, take a look at what you're capable of doing, that you have enough leeway time to do your production, and that way you know how low you're willing to go. So whether you're looking to get investors or whether you're looking to pitch a buyer or try to get some orders, you need to know how low you're willing to go. Okay, so number 6 is that you need to have a sizable market. So if you ever watch Shark Tank, occasionally they'll say, I'm sorry, I just can't invest in your business because I just don't think your target market is big enough, that there's a big enough target market customer base to really make this profitable. So I always say it's good to have a niche. It's really good in your business to target a specific market. You definitely don't want to try to target everyone because it's impossible and you'll never do it and you'll never succeed at it. But at the same time, you don't want your niche to be so small that your demographic and your target customer is just not big enough for you to actually make a profit. So always keep that in mind as something that's really important to take note of, and just see what size your target customer really is. And maybe you're too niched, or you need to niche yourself even further, so on and so forth, so you can make those tweaks to your business. Okay, number 7 is it's not always about the money, but about the network. So yes, when you're asking for money, of course, at the time you need money. That's why you're asking for it. But at the same time, you want to know that this person is not only willing to give you their money, but they also have the right connections. They also have the right people, the right buyers, the right celebrity contacts, whatever it is that you need for your business, that this person has those connections for you, because one connection could be worth millions. It could skyrocket your business. Having one celebrity wear your product could totally spike all these sales in your business, right? Or having this one store buy your line and then becoming a customer for life and buying from you over and over and over again could be the key to really making your business succeed. So don't always look at the money. Don't always put so much value on the actual money. And this goes to, like, if you're looking for a partner in your business, somebody that will be basically in a partnership with you, you want someone that's going to have something that's valuable, that they have a skill that you don't have, or something that you're weak in, they're stronger in, right? You don't want to have somebody that has the same exact skills. You want to have somebody that kind of complements you and has skills that you don't have, or is better in certain areas than you are in certain areas, right? That's what's going to make them a valuable partner. So think about that when you're looking for a partner. Think about that when you're looking for investors. It's really important. The connections can get you further than where the money will get you. Okay, great. And thanks so much, everyone, for sharing this. If you are just tuning in, please share this video. We want to get it out there to as many people as possible. And if you do share it, comment below that you shared. That way I can send you my notes from tonight. That way you have everything, and you can make sure that you're following all these things for your business, and you know how to answer all these questions. Okay, great. So what number are we on? Number 8. You need to know how to sell. I don't care who you are. I don't care what business you have. Sales equals profits equals success, okay? Your business will not be successful if you're not selling anything, okay? So you need to know how to sell. And if you're not comfortable with selling, or you don't want to learn how to sell, because I do believe that selling is something that is a skill that can be learned. I don't think it's something that you have to have innate inside of you. You can learn it, but if you're not willing to learn it, or you don't want to take the time to learn it, then hire someone that will do the sales for you. Because if you can't sell anything, whether it's selling to an investor or selling to a buyer or selling to direct to consumer, you will not make any money. So you need sales to be profitable and to be successful. And I've noticed things on Shark Tank. Even one time, Damon made this guy, I felt so bad for this guy. He made this guy sell him a pen right there on the spot, like, just, dude, sell me this pen. Show me your selling skills right now. I want to see you sell me this pen. And the guy did okay. I mean, he was literally put on the spot. I felt really bad for the guy. And he did okay. He probably would have done better if he asked Damon some questions ahead of time and said, well, why do you want a pen? Or what are you looking for in a good pen? And tried to get some information from him first. He would have done a lot better. But anyway, you need to know how to sell. That's just a fact. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a fact of life. It's a fact of business. And if you want to be profitable, you want to be successful, you need to know how to sell. Okay. Number 9, it's always good if you can have some sales before going into it. So especially on Shark Tank, these people don't want to invest in you if you don't have any sales. They want to know that your idea has already been proven, that someone is already willing to pay for your idea, they're willing to pay the price that you've set, and that you're actually making money at this thing. So they don't want to know that you haven't any sales and you're still in the beginning stages of things, because that just tells them that they're not sure your idea even is going to work. So there's already so much risk involved in having a business that they want to try to eliminate as much risk as possible, and part of that is having sales. So the same can also be applied to pitching a buyer. So buyers also want to know that you already have sales. And I understand that, yes, you can't get sales if you don't have sales, and you can't have sales unless you get sales, and it's kind of a catch-22, like you can't get a job unless you have experience, but you can't get experience unless you have a job. Yes, it kind of sucks. It's like that. but it's true, and buyers are more likely to buy from you if you already have sales, and you can use that to your advantage. So let's say you had 15% sell through at a different store, or your line sold out in 2 weeks. You can use that to your advantage when you're pitching a buyer, and you can say, hey, XYZ store sold out in 2 weeks, or had a 15% sell through of this item, so we redid it for spring and now it's available and it's going to sell out again, so we wanted to make sure that you're the first to get it, so on and so forth. So this is kind of how you can sell your line to other buyers, and they're more likely to buy from you if they know you already have proof, if you already have existing sales. Now, of course, you don't want to mention if your line is sold in one of their competitors, because they don't want to know that you're selling to their competitors, and they might even ask you not to sell to their competitors or ask you for some kind of exclusivity, which is a whole other topic. But having sales does help. You just don't want to mention it if it's a competitor of theirs. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so have some sales going in. And then the last one is that you want to show that you are committed and serious. So one of the things that they always do on the Shark Tank is they always ask, how much money have you invested? How much have you put into your business? They want to know that you're committed. They want to know that you've drawn the line in the sand, that you're not quitting, that you're not turning back, that you're not going to go get a job tomorrow. They want to know that you've put everything on the line for this business, because they don't want to invest anything if they don't think that you've invested anything. And that just goes for everything in general. That goes for buyers, that goes for even consumers, or if you're trying to crowdfund your business. People don't want to invest in something if they feel like you haven't invested, or they feel like you're not committed and you're not serious. So really be committed. Really take the stance of, I'm going all in and this has to work. Like, you have no other way. Like, this is the only thing. Your life depends on it. You have to succeed in this business, and you'll do whatever it takes. And having that mentality and showing that mentality to other people will really, really help them see that, yeah, your business will succeed because of your determination. Even if your product sucks, even if your line is horrible, if you have that kind of determination and confidence and commitment level, you'll succeed at anything in life, because you'll find a way. You'll do whatever it takes. I'm always saying, do whatever it takes. That's my famous quote, WIT, because warriors do whatever it takes. That's why I named my business Fashion Angel Warrior, because to be in the fashion industry, I believe that you do need to be a warrior. You do need to do whatever it takes to really succeed. So just have that commitment, have that mentality. Even if you're working a job, that's fine. If you have a job on the side, I always say don't quit your job right away. You want to have enough money coming in from your business to support yourself financially before you quit your job. So don't think that because you have a job, that doesn't mean that you're not serious. But just look at it like, okay, this is, my life depends on it. I need to be able to succeed in this business. I have no other way. I don't want to work for someone else. I'm not going back to whatever I used to do before. And it has to be this, or, you know, I'll figure something out. So just have that mentality going into it. So those are the 10 things that you can learn from watching Shark Tank. So I encourage all of you to watch Shark Tank. Pay attention the next time you watch it to see if they ask those 7 questions. And just take notice of other people's businesses. You can learn so much from how other people market. You can get ideas about colors. You can get ideas about targeting people or how to market to people. You can get ideas about distribution or different revenue streams. There's a lot of things you can learn from watching other people's businesses and what they're doing in their business, and then see how you can apply it to your business. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your comments about the next Shark Tank that you watch, so please comment on the video. And if you just did join us, please share this video. I want to get this out to as many people as possible. And if you do share it, I will share with you my notes from today, so that you have these 10 things, so that you have the 7 questions. So just put shared in the comments below. That way I know that you shared it and I can send it to you. So thanks so much, everyone. We'll be doing these Facebook Lives every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time inside the Fearless Fashionpreneur Facebook group. So tell all your friends. And let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want the topic for the next week to be. We can do Q&A. We can do topics like this. We can pretty much do whatever you guys want to do. So I'm here for you. I'm here to encourage you, to inspire you. All of you fashionpreneurs out there, it's really hard to be a fashionpreneur. It's really hard to be a solopreneur. And I can tell you it gets lonely. I work from home and a lot of times I just don't have anyone to talk to. So I'd love to talk to you guys, hear back from you guys, hear the feedback. I love it. Thanks for all the likes and the hearts and all the comments today. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday, Facebook Live in the Fearless Fashionpreneur group. Talk to you later. Have a good night, guys. Bye.